Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're heading into the Mediterranean, taking a closer look at Valletta, Malta's capital. You've probably seen pictures. I mean, that architecture just screams history, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And when the sources talk about historical richness, they really mean it. It's tiny, Valletta,
Right.
less than a square kilometer.
Wow, really? That small?
Yeah, but packed. Your guides mention over 320 monuments crammed in there. It's easy to see why it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Right. Which honestly can feel a bit overwhelming if you're thinking of visiting. So that's kind of our goal today, isn't it?
Exactly. We want to sift through those expert takes, the local tips, and really pull out the essentials for Valletta.
Consider this your shortcut, basically.
Yeah.
A way to feel prepped and excited, whether you're actually booking flights based on this or just, curious.
Precisely. Let's boil Valletta down. Your sources are pretty consistent on a few absolute must-dos, so maybe we start there.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so St. John's Cathedral. That name pops up everywhere in the research you shared. Clearly a big deal. What makes it stand out so much?
Well, it's the most visited spot in Valletta, hands down. And its reputation across Europe, it comes down to the incredible Baroque architecture and just how lavish it is inside.
Yeah, Baroque.
Yeah, built pretty quickly, actually, late 1570s, dedicated to St. John the Baptist. But it's the artistry. That's the real draw.
Okay, so visually, when you walk up to it,
Yeah.
what's the impression? The outside.
It's quite grand, two big bell towers, spires. The entrance has these strong sort of Doric columns. There's a balcony, too. It looks impressive, definitely. But it almost doesn't prepare you for what's inside.
And inside, based on your notes, sounds like stepping into another world.
Totally. Picture this. Walls just covered in amazing paintings, huge marble columns, but they're all intricately carved. Like every surface has some detail. And the altar, magnificent. It's peak Maltese Baroque. And practical stuff, it's open Monday to Saturday, about 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Tickets are around €15, so maybe $15.80 US.
Okay, definitely sounds like a must-see from your research. Let's shift outside now. The Upper Baracca Gardens, another name that comes up constantly.
Yep.
What's the main pull there?
Views. Simple as that. The sources all rave about the panoramic look over the Grand Harbor. Just breathtaking, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just a viewpoint. The gardens themselves are really pleasant. Lots of green, colorful flower beds, nice lawns, some ornate fountains. Creates a lovely atmosphere.
So a place to actually hang out, not just snap a photo and leave. And didn't your notes mention something happening there daily?
Yeah, that's the saluting battery just below the gardens. They fire a cannon every day at noon and again at 4 p.m.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's quite a thing to see. Really connects you to the harbor's history.
Mhm.
And the gardens are easy to find right off Castile Square. And free entry, which is always good.
Free entry, amazing views, and a cannon salute.
Yeah, I can see why your guides rate that. Okay, number 3 on this big 3 list feels a bit different. Casa Rocca Piccola. Notes say it's one of Valletta's most beautiful and historic buildings.
What makes it really special, and your sources definitely highlight this, is that this palace from the 16th century, it's still the home of a noble Maltese family, the De Piro family.
Oh, wow, so they still live there.
They do, and that gives it this unique sort of living history connection you just don't get in a typical museum. It's a glimpse into that ongoing legacy.
Right, not just preserved in amber. So what's it like for visitors then, according to your research? What do you actually see?
Well, the architecture itself is described as exceptional. And inside, it's full of, luxurious furniture, grand decorations reflecting centuries of the family living there. Your info suggests you can wander around yourself with a free audio guide.
Okay.
Or take a guided tour for more detail. Either way, you'll see the main staterooms, these impressive long corridors, lovely gardens, kind of an oasis, and even some old underground tunnels. Underground tunnels, too.
Yeah, hints at even earlier history. And get this, your notes also mention you can actually stay there. They have an on-site B&B.
Stay in a 16th century palace. That's something else. Okay, opening hours for Casa Rocca Piccola.
Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Got it. So that's the top 3 your sources keep pointing to. But like you said, Valletta's so dense, there has to be more. Where else does your research suggest exploring?
Oh, absolutely. Beyond those big names, your guides uncover some real gems, maybe a bit less crowded too. Let's talk about the Lower Baracca Gardens first.
Lower Baracca.
Okay. Think of it as similar to the Upper Kin. You still get those amazing harbor views, nice gardens, spots to chill out, but it's generally quieter.
Quieter is definitely appealing sometimes. What specific views do your sources mention from down there?
From the lower gardens, your notes say you get great views of the Siege Bell Memorial. We'll probably talk about that later. Plus Fort Ricasoli and Fort St. Angelo. And it's close to the upper gardens, maybe a 10-minute walk. So easy to do both. Oh, and your research flagged something interesting there. A monument to Sir Alexander Ball from the early 1800s, built like a little Greek temple.
A Greece temple?
Yeah.
In Malta. See, that's the kind of quirky detail I love finding. What about opening times for Lower Baraka?
Open daily, 7 a.m. right through to 9 p.m. and free entry again.
Great. Now, your sources mentioned a kind of fun way to get between the Upper Baraka and the waterfront.
Ah, yes, the Baraka lift.
Yeah.
Your guides frame it as, well, not just transport, but kind of an entertaining ride, especially if you have kids. It connects the Upper Gardens straight down to Lascaris Wharf by the harbor.
Right.
It was actually rebuilt fairly recently, 2012, but your research points out there used to be a lift there way back from 1905 to the 70s, so it has a little history of its own.
And I bet the ride itself offers some good views.
It definitely does. It's pretty high, 190 feet or 58 meters. So even though it's quick, your sources agree the views of the harbor and the city going up or down are, well, outstanding.
Sounds worth doing. Is there a cost?
Yeah, just a small one, €1, so about $1.10. But here's a good tip your research probably found. If you've got a ferry ticket, the ride up is often free.
Oh, that's a handy tip for people using the ferries. Okay, exploring all these places, definitely going to work up an appetite. Where do the expert sources say to go for some real Maltese food?
Yeah, for anyone into food is Souk Talbelt. That's the Valletta food market. Seems to be the top recommendation. Your guides call it a must-visit. It's in this lovely old 19th century building right in the middle of Valletta, very vibrant place.
And it's more than just a market, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a whole setup. There's a food court area, the actual market stall selling produce, but also proper restaurants, cafes, bars.
Yeah.
Loads going on.
So what's the best way to approach it based on your research?
Your sources kind of suggest maybe wandering through the market part first, take in the sights and smells of the local stuff. Then for eating, you've got choices. Mercanti restaurant gets mentioned often for things like a Maltese platter or fresh fish. Or, if you want something more casual, the food court is great. And your guides specifically say, try the local favorites, like fattoras. They're sort of traditional sandwiches, and definitely pastizzi.
Ah, pastizzi. You always hear about those flaky pastries. Okay, good tips. Now, switching gears a bit, your notes mention some really intriguing historical stuff hidden away underground.
Yes, the Lascaris war rooms. Consistently described as one of Valletta's most fascinating sites. And they're deep underground, like 492 feet, 150 meters, below the Upper Baraka Gardens.
Wow.
This place was, as your sources put it, Malta's best-kept secret during World War II. It was Britain's main wartime headquarters on the island. A whole hidden complex of tunnels and chambers.
So it wasn't just like a bunker. It was an active command center, according to your research.
Absolutely. Your information says it had ops rooms for every branch, Army, Navy, Air Force, including the main RAF sector fighter control room. All the air and sea battles in the area were directed from down there. And when you visit now, your guides say many of the rooms have been restored to look just like they did back then. Maps on the walls, old switchboards, communication gear, military bits and pieces. Really gives you a feel for Malta's role in the war.
That sounds incredibly atmospheric. Okay, back above ground. Valletta is known for its massive fortifications. Fort St. Elmo seems like a major one.
It really is. Your research definitely presents a walk around Fort St. Elmo as pretty essential. Its location is key right on the tip of the peninsula, the Sabaris Peninsula, splitting the two main harbors, Marsamxett and the Grand Harbor.
And its history goes way back.
Oh, yeah. Its original job back in the mid-1500s was basically to stop the Ottoman invasion during the Great Siege. So, hugely important historically.
And it has that distinctive shape, doesn't it?
Yes, your notes probably mention the star shape, very typical for forts of that time. Inside, there are also a couple of chapels dedicated to St. Anne. And big bonus for history buffs, the National War Museum is actually housed inside Fort St. Elmo now.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah, and it covers something like 7,000 years of Maltese military history. Plus, as your sources always emphasize, because of where it is, you get these amazing, uninterrupted views, city, bay, both harbors.
History and views, a great combination. Now, with Valletta being right on the coast, I imagine a boat tour features heavily in your source material.
It really does. Given that dramatic coastline, the clear blue water, the sunshine, a boat trip is consistently flagged as, well, pretty much essential in your research. The popular one seems to be about a 1-hour harbor cruise. Usually starts and ends in Slima, which is just across the water.
Okay, and what do you actually see from the boat, according to the guides?
Your notes describe cruising around both main harbors, Marasangset and the Grand Harbor. You're usually on a comfy boat, maybe with an open top deck for the best views. You get a fantastic perspective on Valletta's